Well, well, well. Say my name 5 times and I shall appear. Even if it's been 3 months since I last posted. But either way, I still have Candyman on my mind since I just released the evolution of Candyman on my main channel. So let's rank the 4 Candyman movies from worst to best. Starting with the worst of the worst, and probably one of the worst movies I've watched for my channel. And that's saying a lot since I watched all of the Leprechaun movies. So of course, I'm talking about the 3rd Candyman film, Day of the Dead. In comparison to how the series started, it's probably one of the worst come-downs ever to exist. The acting is awful, minus Tony Todd, who still brings his A game to the role despite the lackluster script. The music is cringe-worthy 90s style R&B, like what were they thinking when they took out the Philip Glass style score from the first 2 films? This soundtrack is awful. There's 2 weird romantic scenes that are horribly shot, and the lead actress was apparently a Playboy bunny, funnily enough, which is a huge fall from grace from the lead actresses of the previous films. And even Candyman's costume looks way too tight, which makes his long right arm way more noticeable than the previous films. And even the story is almost beat for beat of the second film, which in itself was pretty similar to the first film. So it's a poor copy of the first film. So all in all, skip this film. My 30-second recap is better than anything this film has going for it, minus Tony Todd, of course. Okay, so coming in at 3rd place, and remember, this is just my opinion. I'm gonna get some blowback for this, I'm sure, and I should mention that all the following films I enjoy for different reasons, but with that said, 3rd place goes to the 2021 Candyman reboot sequel. Like Halloween 2018, it's a sequel to the original film, while ignoring the sequels that preceded the original film, and largely it succeeds pretty well. The direction, cinematography, acting, and special effects are all pretty top tier for a horror film, but the story is pretty lackluster. It feels like it doesn't really ever start, which is fine if it's a slow burn, but then the 3rd act just hits it into high gear as though to make up for the meandering pace of the first hour and a bit, and unfortunately it feels unearned because it's an insane shift. Now I think everything could have worked if they set things up a little better, and when we finally get to see Candyman in person, not confined to reflections, the kills are pretty sweet. But then the movie just ends, and it's on a nice note, but I was like, hey, this movie just started, what the heck is going on here? And I looked forward to this film for like many years after it got announced, and I just left feeling somewhat underwhelmed. So for those reasons, it appears as number 3 on my list. And coming in 2nd place is going to be the, in my opinion, underrated sequel, Candyman 2 Farewell to the Flesh. Now this is mostly a copy of the first film, but it adds in more information to Candyman's lore, deals with his familial issues, and has some pretty great kills. Tony Todd, like always, kills it in the role, especially in the flashback scene, which helps to humanize the character even more, and I enjoy the side characters and the new setting of New Orleans. It's pretty well shot, and the music is similar to the first film, which helps to set the mood of the movie. But yeah, where it falters is it's too similar to the first film, although if you liked the first one, this is a nice addition to the franchise, even if it doesn't have much to add. And coming in at number 1, could it be any other film? It's Candyman 1992. This movie has amazing performances from both Tony Todd and Virginia Madsen, both of which probably deserved Academy Award nominations for these performances. The Philip Glass music is absolutely haunting and helps to sell a dreamlike style to the movie, almost like a modern-day Dracula film. And even though you don't really see Candyman for the first 40 minutes of the film, I never get bored, and that's a true testament to the work of Bernard Rose, who directed the film. He keeps it interesting and lets the audience learn more about Candyman as the film goes along, even making us question if Candyman is real or just a delusion of Helen Lyle. And Candyman is scary in this film, but alluring at the same time. And this is really less of a slasher film and more of a gothic, romantic horror movie. So all in all, I have very little bad to say about this film. Sure, some of the makeup work seems a little low budget in certain scenes, but all in all, this is a high-class horror film, and I highly recommend you check it out. Thank you all for watching this video. Sorry as always about being basically MIA from this channel. I've just been a little busier than usual, so when I get time to work on the videos, I usually work on the animations, and these speed arts get put on the back burner. But either way, check out the evolution of Candyman in the description if you haven't seen it already. It's probably one of my favorite animations that I've done, and I do have speed arts of both Harley Quinn and Wonder Woman that I do want to share eventually, so hopefully I'll have those up here at some point. But either way, before I sign off, I want to thank my patrons, including the newcomers, Jesus Caveats and Ed. Hopefully I didn't ruin either of your names. I assume I couldn't screw up Ed. But check out the Patreon description if you'd like to get the animations early and full-size illustrations of the characters. And until next time, I'm Aaron, and I'll tell you something later.